This international force, now endorsed by the UN, is going to include the involvement of Israel in disarming the very people that it's been trying to annihilate from this world. I mean, this is extraordinary that the United Nations did this. And to zoom out and talk about what happened last night at the UN, this was an extraordinary move on the part of the UN Security Council. In fact, I was looking back and trying to find any evidence that the Security Council endorsed a plan of this nature ever in the history of the UN. And I'm pretty certain that we've never seen anything like this. Why do I say that? What essentially the UN Security Council has done is to endorse the deployment of what clearly is a Trump, not even US-led, because Trump has made himself the chairman of this so-called Board of Peace that is going to oversee the occupation and administration of Gaza as a sort of Bantustan, for all practical purposes. And what the UN has done is authorize Trump's board to deploy a international force of foreign occupiers inside of Gaza that is not under the command and control of the United Nations, that doesn't resemble a peacekeeping force, but instead has among its primary missions the disarmament and demilitarization of the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people who have endured a genocide for more than 2 years, who have waged a 77-year battle for national liberation on principles that are firmly rooted in international law. And so what the UN has done here is to put an international stamp of legitimacy on what is a privatized plan being implemented by what I think we can call the U.S.-Israeli axis and imposing it on the Palestinian people. It does nothing to push forward any discourse around the establishment of a Palestinian state. It keeps Israel indefinitely occupying large swaths of Gaza. Right now, Israel is in control of roughly 53% of the Gaza Strip. It also links the issue of the delivery of life essentials, food, medicine, construction equipment, reconstruction equipment, entirely to the disarmament of the Palestinians. Everyone talks about Hamas, 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 but let's remove Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad as specifics from this equation and just look at the raw fact of what this resolution does. It endorses Israel's war of subjugation and apartheid by saying that the Palestinians stand alone in the world as the only people that do not have a right to self-determination or to resist occupation, including through the force of arms. This is an extraordinarily dark moment in the history of the United Nations. I just got back from meeting with a wide range of Palestinian leaders. Some of them represent Hamas and Islamic Jihad, but others, like Dr. Mustafa Barghouti, are political figures that don't control an armed force. They're all on the same side. And I just want to read for you a statement that we got this morning, or part of a statement that we got this morning. And again, when people listen to this, remember, this is not Hamas issuing a statement. This is a broad cross-section of Palestinian society that, as far as I understand it, includes nearly every political faction in Palestine, with the exception of Mahmoud Abbas's forces within the Fatah movement. They said the Palestinian forces and factions affirm their commitment to our people's right to self-defense and reject the Security Council resolution, deeming it a tool for Israeli control and complicity in the genocide of our people. The Palestinian factions reiterate their rejection of the resolution, viewing it as a U.S.-backed decision that violates international security frameworks and paves the way for Israeli actions on the ground against the will of the Palestinian people. We believe that any international force deployed in Gaza in its proposed form will amount to a form of trusteeship or administration, thereby perpetuating a reality that restricts the Palestinian people's right to self-determination. So they go on and they also say that there is a non-negotiable right that the Palestinians have to all forms of resistance, including armed resistance.